I am announcing today that we cannot and will not make this certification. We will not continue down a path whose predictable conclusion is more violence, more terror, and the very real threat of Iran's nuclear breakout. That is why I am directing my administration to work closely with Congress and our allies to address the deal's many serious flaws so that the Iranian regime can never threaten the world with nuclear weapons.
The last hour or so has been very interesting and an important time, with the president announcing just a short time ago he will not recertify the Iran nuclear deal. Israel has long opposed the agreement from the get-go, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu fought hard against it, even came to this country to lobby against it in front of our people, our Congress. So what are the things at stake for America's greatest friend and ally in the Middle East? Let's bring in Ambassador Dan Gillerman, former Israeli ambassador to the United Nations and a Fox News contributor. Ambassador, thanks for being with us. It is late where you are now, and we appreciate your time. This is a deal that greatly impacts Israel. And you said from the very beginning, Israel would be the main victim if Iran is allowed to handle itself the way it wants, unbridled. Talk to me.
Well, Israel is already the victim of Iranian terrorism through Iran's proxies in the region, both Hezbollah in the north and Hamas in the south. But I can tell you with great pride that Israel right now is stronger and safer than it was an hour ago. Because I think this speech by the president, which was both courageous and historic, made a huge difference, because it's the first time that a world leader is actually naming and shaming Iran for what it is. A monstrous, evil regime whose bloody tentacles sow terror all over the world, including in our region. And I think that those words by the President of the United States are changing the game and creating a safer neighborhood for us and for our neighbors.
You said that Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon, and that there are certain things that the United States should be prepared to do to make sure that that doesn't happen. What is on that list? Because I know you've said you feel like your country now has to, in a military fashion, with this deal in place before today, do some things militarily that you might not want to do. How has this changed that?
Well, I think it has changed because the president has really called Iran for what it is, and especially the Revolutionary Guard. You know, I'll tell you something which may seem trivial, but the thing that most disturbed me about this horrible deal was not just its wording, but the body language, the smiles, and the hugs that were exchanged between the foreign ministers and secretaries of state of the 6 signatories and the Iranian foreign minister. There were hugs there as if they were hugging Mother Teresa, and there were celebrations as if they gave birth to a monster. This was not Mother Teresa, this was a monstrous, evil regime. And Israel was prepared and still is prepared to do everything to prevent this regime from becoming nuclear. You can see what's happening in the world today with North Korea. Now, North Korea is just a preview. North Korea is soon to be seen in a theater near you if this evil regime acquires nuclear weapons. And Israel has always been prepared, and is even more prepared today with the assistance of the US to do what is necessary, including military action, to prevent that regime from going nuclear.
Ambassador, before I let you go, you know, Iran's leadership has already said that they will take great exception, and I take that to mean perhaps some retaliation, if in fact we move forward, as President Trump has said today, and you put that Iranian Revolutionary Guard on the terror list. You designate it as a terror organization, as we have done with Hezbollah, an Iran-backed organization there. What are your concerns that Israel will be in peril if, in fact, that retaliation is to hit by proxy, as you said, at the United States?
Well, you know, unfortunately, Iran or the Revolutionary Guard don't need any excuses to terrorize the world or to hurt Israel. We are being, you know, every day, every single day, our great security forces prevent horrible suicide attacks and horrible bombings in Israel, but from time to time they succeed, and they're all carried out by Iran's proxies. And this happens not only in Israel, but around the world. So I don't think that this speech, or putting the Revolutionary Guard on notice, or designating it as a terror organization, would make a difference. Iran is a terror regime. It's the main financer, harborer, and exporter of terror around the world. It does not need any excuses. On the contrary, I hope that after this speech they will be more careful and more cautious, because otherwise they'll pay a very heavy price, brought on both by the United States and by Israel and by hopefully the international community as a whole.
I hear you saying, Ambassador, that this changes the game for the entire world because of the type of actor, vicious actor that Iran can be. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you very much.